Good morning and welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate, presented by the Cisneros Realty Group at Keller Williams, servicing the New Hampshire Lakes and White Mountains regions. Today's show is sponsored by Blue Water Mortgage, Summit Title, and Allstate Insurance, the Joe Suazo office in Derry, New Hampshire. Time to join our host and Let's Talk Real Estate on 101.5 WEEI Sports Radio, Lakes Region.
Hi, and we're back. This is Karina Cisneros. In our previous segment, we had Jamie Irving from Watermark Marine Construction. If you have any questions about permitting, you can reach Jamie at 603-293-4000 or through their website at watermarkmarine.com. And now in the studio, one of my favorite guests of all time, we have Debbie Lurvey. She is a business development for Summit Title. Welcome, Debbie.
Thank you, Karina. It's good to be here.
It's my honor to have you on the show. What is Summit Title?
Summit Title is a title company with our main office in Bedford, and I work out of the Guilford office.
Okay, and why do we even need a company like Summit Title involved in our real estate transactions, or the buyer and the seller? Why do you exist?
We exist to make the transaction as smooth and seamless as possible and to ensure that the buyer is getting clear title. It's very important when deeds are transferred that there are no liens. It is conveyed from the people who actually own the property to the buyers the way they want to take title.
So before there was ever a title company, how was this done?
It was handled by attorneys, and then title companies came around. The first title company I worked for was 25 years ago. So title companies have been around for quite a long time, but before that it was attorneys.
Okay, so as a realtor, I have a buyer, and we go under agreement. I represent them as a buyer. So what are you going to do for that buyer?
What we're going to do is, first off, we're going to introduce ourselves to all parties, and our abstractors will search the title to make sure that first, the people who are selling the property are the appropriate parties. We also make sure that there are no mortgages, liens, any parties who have made a claim against the property.
And what percent of the time do you find something?
It happens more often than most people think that there are.
And what's the most common thing that you find?
The most common thing is improperly discharged mortgages. That happens so often, or missing discharges. Back in the 80s, banks were sending the discharges directly to the consumer, and they did not know what to do with them, so they never got recorded.
Okay, thanks for listening this morning. This is Let's Talk Real Estate on WEEI 101.5 Sports Radio Lakes Region. And my name is Karina. I'm here with Debbie Lurvey. Okay, Debbie. So you do the title search. So what's this word about, there's a cloud on the title? What does that even mean?
Well, there are many things, again, that could cause a flaw in the title. Perhaps someone didn't release all of their title to the property, or heirs were not notified. So it's just a flaw that needs to be corrected.
And this is, I think, a great segue. So how do you protect yourself when something like that can happen? Is that where title insurance comes into play?
Owner's title insurance, in my opinion, is the most important thing that you can purchase when buying a home.
And how much does that cost, approximately?
Approximately, it used to be $1 figure, but if you planned on $3 per thousand, that would give you a good ballpark. I will tell you that it is less than calling somebody to handle clearing that title issue for you.
Okay, so you have title insurance. So give us an example of something that could come up where the title insurance will take care of it.
The most common thing that I find are unpaid taxes. We always call to make sure that taxes are paid, but everybody has a bad day. And if the tax collector tells us they're paid and they're really not, that could become a lien that could come back on your title insurance. Invalid IDs, or people who are not of sound mind executing documents, that could also be a claim.
So these are liens that run with the land,
Correct.
not with the owner.
Correct.
So if there is something that is a lien that we did not know about, the title insurance says, hey, buy this title insurance. If we find something comes up in the future while you own it, we'll take care of it on our dime. Is that how it works?
Right. There are a lot of things that are covered with the title insurance. So yes, if it's a covered item, it would be taken care of.
Okay, so you've done these services. Prior to closing, you also do what's called a closing disclosure. What is that?
Closing disclosure is required by lenders for, it's just a disclosure of all of the closing costs in terms of the loan that they are getting with their lender.
Okay. Okay. We have to go to break, and we'll be right back. This is Karina Cisneros. All right, I gotta do that again.
I'd say so.
It's we're going to commercials, right?
Yep.
Okay. It's time to take a break now and hear from our sponsors. And remember, the video and podcast of all of our shows are available on letstalkrealestatenh.podbean.com. Thank you for listening this morning. We'll be right back with more Let's Talk Real Estate after this on 101.5 WEEI Sports Radio Lakes Region. And welcome back. This is Karina Cisneros. I'm here with Debbie Lurvey from Summit Title. Debbie, you and I, just last year, I think we did about 48 transactions together.
We did. Yes, we did. Thank you.
And it's always a delight
It was great.
to have you involved because I know that all my clients are taken care of, looked after, and if anything comes up, we are a team and we fix it.
That is absolutely correct. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. All right. So we got to the point where now we're clear to close.
Mm-hmm.
What does clear to close mean to you?
Clear to close means it's time to get the closing scheduled, make sure all parties, buyers, sellers, agents can all agree on a time and a location. And really, it's the happiest day of the whole transaction.
So clear to close is every piece of paper, everything's been approved by the bank, everything's been looked at, we're good to go.
Good to go, yes.
So that's when I call, hey, we're good to close, or you call, we're good to close.
Yep.
We schedule it. And that's, of course, an amazingly emotional day for everybody.
It really is. And it's funny because buyers are so excited to close on their homes. And you have to temper that sometimes with the sellers because it's an emotional day for them, too, because they're letting go of memories that they've had. So it's kind of filled with lots of emotion.
Yeah, it's I can imagine.
Yeah.
I've been in many. And sometimes it's heart-wrenching.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a day for celebration because
It
after
is.
all, the seller wanted to sell, the buyer wanted to buy,
Mm-hmm.
and that marks the beginning of a new chapter for both.
It does, yes.
Okay, to prevent things from going wrong in closing,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes,
Sometimes they do, yes.
okay, what are some of the things that buyers and seller must be aware of when they get to the closing table to avoid any hiccups?
The biggest thing, and I have actually run into this twice in the past month, IDs. You need to have a picture ID with your actual real name on it, not a nickname, which we just recently happened, and make sure that they are not expired. People forget that their birthdays have just happened and didn't realize they needed to get their driver's license renewed. And
So if it's expired, you can't use it?
you really, especially when working with lenders, they require, and we require a valid ID. It's required for title insurance. And it's also important that the buyers know that when we say a bank check and we try to clarify it to make sure they know it's a cashier's check, it cannot be a personal check.
Okay, going back to the valid ID,
Mm-hmm.
does the name on the documentation to close have to be the exact same spelling initial as in the valid ID?
The initial doesn't matter so much. I have had somebody who had a different last name, but they had just got married, so they brought their marriage certificate with them. So, I mean, it needs to be their name as they are now.
Any Anything else that could go wrong that sometimes happens that can be avoidable? Oh, I got one.
Okay.
So we are the day of closing. Let's say it's going to be at noon. We do the walkthrough about an hour before, and the buyer and the buyer's agent notice that there is something that has not been done that was agreed on, or something's wrong. Wow.
That has happened, and it can create a lot of turmoil at the closing table because buyers expect for those things to have been completed. And a lot of times the seller doesn't do it intentionally. They just, with so much going on, they may forget.
Have you had closings actually like completely stop until that's been fixed, or is there some kind of agreement that they reach at the table?
Usually it has. I haven't had one that has completely stopped because of that. Great agents like yourself find a way to get it worked out so closing can happen.
Okay. We're with Debbie Lurvey of Summit Title. Debbie has been working in the title industry for over 25 years.
Yes. Yep.
How many closings, Debbie, have you done, do you think?
Oh my gosh. I would say thousands. An exact number, I don't know. I've tried to do the calculations, but I've been at a lot of closing.
Thank you, Debbie, for joining us. Would you come back if we need you again?
I would love to come back.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
So join me and my team next Saturday morning at 8:30 for another episode of Let's Talk Real Estate. And if you or someone you know is looking to purchase a new home or sell, please contact me and my team at Cisneros Realty Group, located at 66 Route 25, Meredith, New Hampshire. Direct is 603-273-6160. Office is 603-569-HOME. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or on our website at nhlakeshomes.com. If you missed today's show, no worries. The video and podcasts are available on letstalkrealestatenh.podbean.com. And remember, mi casa es su casa. And my name is Karina, like the song, Karina, Karina. Until next time, play my song.
Karina, Karina.
Let's Talk Real Estate is presented by the Cisneros Realty Group and sponsored by Blue Water Mortgage, Summit Title, and Allstate Insurance, the Joe Suazo office in Derry, New Hampshire. Let's Talk Real Estate is a production of Modern Media LLC, CRG TV, and MR Strategic Alliance LLC, all rights reserved. Join us every Saturday morning at 8:30 and Let's Talk Real Estate with Karina Cisneros, Realtor, on WEEI 101.5 Sports Radio Lakes Region.